Hi guys, and welcome to first person shooter tutorial developing in Unity. So I'm going to show you guys how this works. It's just buildings and street light. Then we have a car that is moving around, and with the ball. So with the ball, I just class that as my first person that will be walking around. However, I also have a third person around here, and that is the third person. The whole idea of this tutorial is how to put together something like this. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to take you guys straight into Unity development environment. We'll put one of these together with just maybe one or two single lines of code so that the main camera can follow the ball around. So let's do that now, guys. Okay guys, let's start a new project. I'm going to first of all go straight into this folder here, Allsky free, and I'm going to select night, and I just drag this, or if you don't drag it, you can always go to the windows and just select random, select lighting, and go straight to the environments and grab whatever sky that you want in there, and there they are. Okay, it's all the same there. Right, my sky is there now. There we go. Now the next thing I want to do is I'm going to add, in fact, let's make sure my camera is in the right position. Okay, that's fine. And now let's right click and select panel. There we go. That's my panel there. I'm going to kind of like make the size 50 by 1 by 50. It doesn't have any volume, so that is why that is 1, and I'm going to come in and just make that 0.2, and I'm going to just make the y-axis there 0, x-axis 0 for the position. So that's how I'm going to leave the transform. Okay, that's fine. So the next thing I want to do now is let's create a material. Right click and just select create material right there, and this material I'm just going to call it BG. That's fine. And for the BG material, let's make sure it's selected, go straight to albedo, click on the albedo sign there, and let's look for something that we can add, and I'll just select one of these and dump it right there. That's good enough for me. So the next thing I want to do now is let's add a couple of buildings. I want to come in here. I have another folder called block building pack. There they are. So just drag them and just drop them there, and we just change things around the way we want. So let's copy and just Control D, copy, and just drag it around. Okay, all right, let's look for another type of building here and just bank that somewhere here, maybe somewhere here. That is fine. And all of these buildings, I'm just going to copy them. Just press or right click and create a duplicate, drag it right at the back there. That is fine. So the next thing I want to do now is I'm going to add street light here. And first of all, before the street lights, let's tidy up. I'm going to go straight to the hierarchy. Let's create a blank game object, and I'm just going to call that buildings there. Grab all of the buildings and just dump them right inside the game object to tidy things up. And these are the ones here. Move that in there. That is good enough for me. Then I'm going to create another one. Right click and let's select empty, and I'm going to call that street light. There we go. Now let's add some street light here. Let's come right here to street light probe, and let's double click on that. Look for any suitable street light. I think this one will do. Let's just dump it somewhere here. And I'm going to increase the size to something like 3. Let's say 3 by 3 by 3. Oh, that seems to be too high. 2 by 2 by 2. I may have to increase the size of the buildings though. Okay, so that is the straight line there. That very straight line that I've just added, I'm going to copy it across. Okay, so let's say Control D. Well, first of all, let's place it inside my empty folder called straight line. Okay, right click, create another one. We have 2. Right click, duplicate. We have 4, and maybe another 4. Right click, duplicate, and just drag it there. So that's fine. So let's come in here, right click it all, or select it all. Right click, let's create a duplicate and just drag it straight to the other side. There, that's it. That's our street light in place now. So let's run it and see how that's going to look like. Looking good. That's nice. So the next thing I want to do now is let's add an FPS controller. Go to the standard asset. Okay, let's add a ball there. Where is the ball? Inside the prefab. Drag the ball and just dump it there. And I'm also going to add third person. Yeah, add a third person there. Let him just be running around somewhere. That's the third person. Increase the size to maybe 3 by 3 by 3. There we go. Let's move him straight in there somewhere. Now let's add a car, or yeah, that's it. Let's add a car. I'm just going to add that somewhere here. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, that's it. Okay, the next thing that I'm going to do, since I have all of the components on board now, is let's add a script. Right click and let's go to create C# script, and I'm just going to call that camera controller. There. Select your camera controller and come right here where the inspector is. Click on open. There, it's coming up now. There we go. And the first thing I want to do is I'm going to create 2 variables up here. The first one is going to be a public one, public game object, and I'm going to call that player. The second one is going to be a private variable, and that is going to be for the vector 3, and I'll just call that offset. There we go. Now let's take a very good look at this offset. You see, this offset is to actually take in the value of the position of the camera itself. So I'm going to say transform dot position minus the player's position. That's transform dot position of the player, end it with semicolon. Now the next thing is, once we minus the position of the player from the camera, is stored right in here. Now we now want where the camera is, so that we can follow the player's position. So I'm going to say camera position equals player position plus the offset. There we go. And enter semicolon, and that's all there is to that. Now let's save that. Save. Once it is saved, let's come right in here, and I'm now going to grab the camera position, grab it and just drop it on the main camera itself. Now make sure main camera is selected. Okay, once you select main camera, come right down here. That is your player position. You now want to drag your player right in here. And who is my player? My player is going to be the roll a ball. So I'm going to drag that. There we go. And that's it. So anywhere this ball goes, it can either be the ball or the car. The choice is yours. So, or you can just drag the car, drop it there. So anyway it goes, guess what? The camera follows. So let's run it and see. There goes the car, and you see the camera follows. There, and that's how you create your own first person how you create your FPS controller in Unity. So with that, guys, I'm going to call it the end of this brief tutorial. I suppose you guys enjoyed. You all have a nice day now, and bye for now.